ground force of his own. You know, throw down a couple more barracks. He's got the minerals, and now he's just starting to do that. But you know, while he's focusing on the you know, kind of Banshee all-in attack, he kind of neglected any anti-air, and you know, he could have been in a lot of trouble if his opponent went Banshee or something like that. But just a ground force in general would have been really handy to have. And this, you know, this is a planetary fortress, and it's going to be able to defend itself pretty well if he can get his SCVs to repair it. But this is a fair amount of Marines.
It looks like we might be seeing a mega drop of some sort.
Yeah, we've got the 2 dropships. We got two more on the way. One of them's full. So we're going to see a bunch of Marines. If we look at the units tab, Gray over here has 40 Marines and 4 dropships, so he's going to be able to do a fair amount of damage with that. I believe that the Marines do have 1/1 upgrade, and they do not have Stimpak yet, but they do have those combat shields, and they're going to lift up, and this is going to be a pretty heavy drop. I'm curious to see if he's going to spot this fortress and drop off here first, or if he's just going to go for the main, because if he drops in the main, he can do a bunch of damage to all the tech buildings and production facilities.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend dropping in the main with the fortress there, and it looks like Stimpak did just finish as he was loading up in there. So if he can drop in there, snipe some depots, snipe some production buildings, he's really going to be in great shape, as simultaneously it looks like he's trying to break down the rocks with a bunch of Marines. But the drop does go down, he focus fires the refinery. I'd really like to see him get these depots, maybe get to orbital command, and then it does look like the Banshees are coming in, so he needs to get those Marines out of there or toss down a scan, one of the two. There's the scan.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that he saved up enough energy for that. Something else he could have thought about doing was bringing along a Raven for the detection.
Yep,
but,
as it looks like the Marines and a siege tank, we jump down to the bottom of the third there. Geewanmin is easily defending this with his 2 tanks and that planetary. So not much is going to happen there. It looks like Geewanmin should survive this, especially with that Hellion coming out there. Although there is another siege tank. But, I mean, with a planetary fortress, never count that out, as these Marines of Grays are still just microing around the base of Geewanmin.
Yeah, he still has a pretty sizable army, and I'd like to see him continue producing back home. If we pull up the production tab, he's only got, you know, 5 more Marines and 1 tank on the way, which I guess isn't bad. But he, you know, should get up a few more dropships, maybe, you know, spend the money on an upgrade, get, you know, another weapons level, or he finally does have Stimpak now, so, you know, he could think about, you know, he probably wants to save that for a better time, but he's going to focus fire these, you know, production facilities down, and, you know, Geewanmin is going to be in a lot of trouble.
I'd also really like to see him expanding at the moment. I think he's pretty much got this base under control. There's not much that Geewanmin can do. I think the harder push is going to be into Geewanmin's third because of the planetary. Although with those tanks, he should be fine. I'd really like to see him expand at the moment. He's got a bunch of spare SCVs, 3 of them, lying around at his natural. And if we go to Gray's main, he has a ton because he's just mined out. He needs to get those down to the natural, and he really needs to expand.
Yeah, the natural is pretty secure now, so those SCVs are just sitting around. If we look, pull up his vision, he's got 20 idle workers there. But these 2 tanks are going to work on this planetary fortress.
Yeah, these Marines in Geewanmin's main are pretty much just having a field day. They've got 2 kills, 4 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills, so they're just kind of going to town there, full health. They're going to take out the E-base soon, I'd imagine both of these barracks. And at this point, I'm not really sure what Geewanmin can do. I mean, I really thought it was a clever strategy, this kind of double proxy starport into a factory proxy planetary fortress. It was really entertaining to watch, but I think he may have invested so much into that initial Banshee attack, and like you mentioned, he held off so long on those barracks, that he really didn't have much to defend this 40-so-odd Marine push that Gray made.
Yeah, and I would like to see Gray keep a few Marines just with those tanks, you know, just because of the threat of the Banshees coming out, because as you can see, this Banshee was able to take out both these tanks that were shelling the planetary fortress. So, you know, whereas taking out this fortress pretty much would have been a pretty big hit to Geewanmin. Those tanks were able to, were not able to completely destroy that. But his Geewanmin's main is pretty much done for. You know, this barracks about to go down, starport getting shelled as well, and this command center is has about 15 HP left and is about to burn in the air as we see that explode.
The destructible rocks are down as Geewanmin attempts to build a factory there, and we could be seeing one more drop there from Gray. with the siege tank. If he gets that sieged up, he can outrange the planetary, and I'm not really sure what Geewanmin can do about this.
Yeah, I like coming in from the back here. You know, he should think about maybe bringing the rest of his Marines over here, bring them down the right side, or maybe even just the front to take out these barracks. As Geewanmin does have a bunch of units queued up, so he does have a fair amount of resources. He needs to get unsupply blocked. But
it looks like Gray, as we zoom over there to the left side and see Geewanmin building a base, it looks like Gray has also queued up an expo there, so he's going to be in for a rude awakening when that SCP arrives.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to build another base there. It kind of reminds me of the, you know, the exhibit. I heard you like bases, so I put a base in your base, so you can base while I base. So
yeah,
it's not.
We do like basing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really gonna work. And here we see a mass SCV rush against these Marines. He should be microing these, or thinking about picking them up at least. These SCVs, you know, although they are just SCVs, any mass unit is able to, you know, do a little bit of damage, and these Marines are, you know, slowly getting a little more damage. And you see one go down, you know, two go down, four go down. So I think these SCVs may actually take all these Marines out, especially now that these Marauders come out.
Yeah, he definitely could have stemmed and micros those back to avoid minimal, if any, losses. But he does have that tank up there by Geewanmin's natural with those Marines. I'd like to see him maybe push that forward pretty soon. Although these Marauders, they do snipe the tank, but he really needs to push in at the moment. Eliminate these tech structures, these barracks here, so that although he's not eliminating the planetary, if he can just stop Geewanmin from producing units, it's going to be simple, it's going to be GG, and there's going to be not much he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I give props to Geewanmin right now. He is doing the best he can to hang in there, getting these production facilities and trying to produce. You know, I'd like to actually see him. He has this one Banshee hiding in the top right-hand side of the map. So, you know, I'd actually like to see him. If he, you know, brought that down over these tanks, he could actually do a bunch of damage. You know, especially if he caught them out of position. You know, he just had his base here rampaged by those 3 tanks, so he should know that they're pretty much unguarded. He could go take those tanks out, which would, you know, give him a little bit of a leg up on at least trying to come back in this game.
Yeah, and I do like that Geewanmin is attempting to expand again. He's being relentless with this. That's what he needs to do. He's only operating off one base now, which is essentially the same as Gray, because Gray's main is mined out, and his expo up there on the middle left is not yet up. So if Geewanmin, unfortunately, the scan goes down and he does see it, but were he able to get this expo up, he could stay even with the economy and maybe pump out enough units with some bunkers to stay alive a little bit longer, possibly turn the tide with a couple Banshees, if he could get the starport up again.
Yeah, if we look at the units tab now, Gray does have 37 Marines and 5 tanks, to the 1 Banshee and the 9 Marauders and 3 Marines of Geewanmin. So he does have a larger force. He should move in now, you know, before, you know, it gets out of hand. You know, he has a pretty significant advantage. I like sieging up on the high ground here. You know, he
great
knows
tank placement.
He knows the expansion is going up here, so he's going to land here. You know, he's going to get a pretty good. Yeah, he's got a pretty good position on Geewanmin here, and Geewanmin GG's. So ends the game.
Yeah, that was an exciting game to watch. I mean, not often you see an entire base proxy. There's really heavy pressure put on there with those 2 Banshees. Some great counter, like, mobile Marine paratrooper drop forces there from Gray. And I mean, as always, as we like to do, it's about fun, it's about learning. So we're going to go over a couple things that we think could have gone better. Mesh, if you want to start us off.
Well, for one, I would have liked to see Geewanmin produce some sort of ground army along with his Banshees. You know, I like the proxy play. You know, that's clever. It's mixing it up. But as soon as he scanned and saw that the early expand was coming from Gray, he should have. I mean, it's tough to, you know, kind of abandon a plan. You know, you start the game, you have a game plan, and, you know, it's kind of tough to just give that up. But when he saw that early expand going down, he should have thought about trying to just get a 3 racks army. You know, just max out. You know, not max out, but get as many units as you can. You know, you can get to you know, 50, 60, 70 supply pretty quickly with you know, just 3 racks on one base. You know, get the Marauder slow upgrade, or, you know, get stim pack. You know, pretty much be producing units as often as you can, and you can get a pretty decent sized army pretty quick. And against an opponent who goes for an early expand like this, yeah, he had one bunker, and he had, I believe he had a fair amount of Marines in the early game, but choosing to expand that quickly definitely gives your opponent an edge in terms of army. So you should realize that you have that window of time before your opponent's economy really outpaces you because he chose to expand. So you got to make him pay for trying to get ahead economically by using your military advantage early in the game.
Yeah, there's definitely, you make a really good point there. There's definitely a narrow window that if you get there and you get the scout in there, you should really try to exploit, because that expo is going to be not very easily defendable based on the map. I guess this one not really so much. And had you been right, had you 3 racks or gone for some early type Marine push, I think you would have been able to do a ton of damage. Although you are, and I do like the clever play of the double proxy Banshees. And on Gray's end, I would have liked to see an expansion sooner. Of course, this was later on through the mid game, once he kind of started to chip away into the proxy base there, where his third would have been. I would have liked to see an expo go up much sooner. He definitely had the resources. And I think the Banshee's harass, this is probably the main point here, the Banshee's harass could have been ended much quicker and much less painfully had he just gotten Vikings a whole lot quicker. He had the factory up relatively quickly after the Banshees started coming in, and had he just thrown down the starport, got a Viking or 2 out, and immediately gone after the Banshees, like you said, there's no ground army to counter them. So it would have really just kind of stalled this Banshee push right in its tracks.
Yeah, definitely. So, yep, that's the game. Took a few days off, but now we're back to casting. Try to keep games coming out at least one a day. Keep the replays coming to our email, which is getbetterstarcraft@gmail.com. All one word, getbetterstarcraft. And we hope you guys enjoyed slightly improved audio quality. Through our first few games, it was the video quality that was terrible, and we improved that, got you the high definition quality that you guys now get. And the audio quality for Axion's sound has been weak, but hopefully this is better. It's still not perfect. We're tweaking with it. We're not operating on professional equipment or anything like that. So we're still gonna tweak it. Let us know if you guys think that there's something that would improve the audio or video quality. Let us know. Tell us if the game sounds not loud enough, or if one of us sounds underwater or anything like that. Some settings you guys think we should mess around with, and we'll definitely take your suggestions, and so we can give you guys the best quality that we can. So that's it. We'll see you guys next time, and until then, as always, keep
getting better.
Keep getting better, guys. We'll see you later. Awkward ending.